I need new music.
This is the JJO Discover New Music Podcast.
There he is.
What's up, brother?
Oh, my God. It's so good to see you, man.
Great to see you, man.
Oh, let me get my... There we go. Oh, we're too far. There we go. I got my new studio set up, and so I want to make it look all pretty for you.
It looks awesome. It looks awesome.
Got the new show. Look at that. They gave me my own banner. Look at that.
Dude, that's awesome.
About time. All right. So I got about 15 minutes with you. Do you got to hop off and do another one after this?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get to it then, because I want to make sure we get as much time as possible to talk new music. Well, first of all, Leigh, Pop Evil. I have known you for so long, and I was reminiscing to myself and remembering, I believe the very first time, and this was when Lipstick was freshly out, you guys played, it's no longer there. I think it was like the Blue Chalk Room. It was your like first time in Madison, and it was a pool hall / stage. Do you remember that?
I do.
God, it was weird, man.
I do. That was a fun show, though, man.
Oh, it was a real good time. It was a real good time. Well, we've always loved having you guys here, and it's been such a long and fun relationship with Pop Evil through everything, the ups and downs and changes, and we're just excited to see new music out. What Remains out the 21st and 9th album. Leigh, you guys have, again, in talking this, going all the way back, early 2000s, you guys getting started there in Michigan. You've seen it all. You've played it all. What stood out maybe in making this album compared to previous works for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it started off kind of the same, right? Okay, you just got to gear up, get yourself like emotionally ready to the process. It usually takes about a year or so. Yeah. So, it's a little bit grueling. And sometimes, like, to get it started, you got to get the engine rolling. So you just start writing songs, and man, the first few songs you're like, I don't know, it's not gonna make the record. Then What Remains was written, and that's when things started to kind of have a shift. It was like, okay, wow, like this song, I'm stoked about it, and really liking how this one feels. Man, this could be, I don't know, this kind of. Do you always have that song that kind of sets the bar? You're like, okay,
right.
It's got to be better than this. How are we going to do better than this? And then as more songs start to be written, the manager George calls me. He's like, hey, you realize what you're writing about? And I'm like, no. He goes, I want you to read the lyrics to these songs, and don't listen to the music, just read the lyrics you wrote, and then call me. And I read the lyrics, and he's like, dude, you realize that like this is like therapy for you? Like this is about you here. You're healing. Like this is crazy. I had no idea. And I'm like, man, I guess I didn't even realize either. These things start coming out. So he's like, let's see where this goes. And literally the next song. It just felt like, I had to get this stuff out. I mean, probably from the pandemic, just obviously member change, all the stuff that's chaotic from this whole business, let alone the past few years. It just felt, as a front man, you bury that stuff, right? Like you have to be positive. Your next record, next song. There's a lot of people counting on you to living on you and they're counting on you to make the right decisions for their livelihood. So I don't have time to be depressed or be be down. You got to just stay focused and go to the next. So I think that with this being me just having to put these feelings, just kind of bury them and just keep them down all these years later, it had to come out, and it came out in the form of this album. And sometimes it's easier to write with the we, and when you're a front man, especially, you don't want to be selfish and write about yourself. And it just seemed like this, I'm what remains. I am what remains. I'm on my death walk. I'm wishful thinking. It was like, the bullet that missed, which is about, all those people in life, even with you, you've kind of been you came up kind of when we came up, we've kind of grown up in this business together. And I'm sure you have the same people, those people that didn't want you to succeed, right? They just kept throwing bullets at you. And Brock, you're this, you're that, you'll never be this, you'll never be that. It's just all those bullets. If you could put them in one, boom, guess what? You're still here climbing. That bullet, all those bullets that miss, you know what I mean? So those people that want to hold you back, hold you down, it just felt like, this stuff just had to come out, and it just came out in the form of an album. And it just, I probably feel like this is probably my favorite album, just because I feel so refreshed that it's I feel like it's a new awakening and kind of like this new era for Pop Evil. So I'm definitely grateful and excited for the fans to probably finally get it themselves, and hopefully it can help someone along the way, man. I mean, that's the eventual goal.
It's such an interesting take, Leigh, because like you mentioned, as the front man there, the face of the band and, putting yourself out there and having to bury the stuff. And not that you haven't shared emotions before in writing and performing, but you do kind of have to take this, all right, well, look, I'm going to put my stuff to the side because we got to perform the next show, the next city, what it may be. Right. And that kind of unplanned catharticism, if you will, of this album, it finally came to a head. Was it surprising to you that it just all kind of flowed out this way?
Yeah, I mean, it took a minute, but it was just, once I talked about it with George and our manager, it was like, okay, well, maybe I gotta not shy away from this, because sometimes when you write about yourself, and I share, I'm a very private person, so I don't really like talking about things that are private, because again, when you live, your career is kind of out there for people to kind of read and write about. There's just only a few things I can have that are mine, and my problems I like to keep to myself. I'm like, well, whatever, so, but getting these things out, it would, like I said, was very therapeutic, and it was something I didn't know I needed, but I was so grateful to kind of just be like, you're right. Here you're trying to help all these people with music, but maybe it needs to start with you, and you need to go out there. And that's when you can really help someone, is when you're honest about the things that you're dealing with, and to just not shy away from that. And I mean, maybe in previous albums, I might have shied away from it, but this album, it just feels like the right time, the right place, and to just really be, and I feel like the band's a lot closer, we're a lot closer through this pandemic too, this current lineup, that like, we've all been around together since the beginning, and now we're all in the same band together. It's like there's the way that the band's supporting each other, especially myself. It's just real easy to be a front man in a band and have everyone else. You feel like everyone else is giving you the middle finger when you're getting in front of them. But and you really feel embraced, and you really feel like you got support with your brothers. It's a different feeling, and I felt because of that support, I was in a place where I could write this, and they weren't going to be like, oh, okay, this is ridiculous or blah blah blah.
Right.
And once they started to really support me, it was like, okay, wow, then let's just roll with it. So it was just a great experience, man, and definitely one that I've not really experienced a lot of in this business. So to be able to be in a position to write this record, it feels real special. It feels rare, and I'm certainly excited about finally having it out there for everyone else to hear.
I love it, man, and I'm so happy for you. And just hearing your mood, your tone, your excitement about this album, I know that's going to transfer over to everyone. Again, What Remains, out March 21st. You've already mentioned a few tracks, and I know you talked about how What Remains was really kind of the catalyst, the starting point for this, and where we got. So maybe this question has already been answered, but do you have a favorite track on here, one that really speaks to you?
It's hard to say. Interestingly enough, like this, I feel like I always micromanage every album, and I've heard by the time it comes out, I've heard every song like a million times. So
right.
It's funny, when this album was done, I made the pact with myself. I told them, I was like, look, I'm done with it. I'm not going to listen to it anymore unless I hear it on the radio or something like that. I'm going to wait till it's actually released and be surprised and more excited. Because again, like when you put out albums, and knowing now, since we've put out so many, it's like you want to make sure you enjoy the maximize that special moment. And when the actual release happens, it doesn't really get any better than that. Every day, every month past that is now you prep for the next record. So it's so important to kind of respect the hard work you did for the past year or two, and when it does finally get released, learn to love it all over again, and then it's fresh for you when you play it live. So to be honest, I mean, obviously each song is like a child. You love every one, but What Remains was definitely one that I think it's the most special, just because obviously, we named the album after it. And I don't think we've ever really done that. We've never really named an album after one of the songs. So that's how important we felt like this song was to the album. I definitely like Wishful Thinking too. One of my favorites on the record. I love Side Effects. Another one. I mean, it just again, there's so many that I think when I answer that question, though, I think about not just the song, but what that song means to me.
Right.
Probably, not fair, but Side Effects, you think of all those people that might have been bad in your life that, they were the problem. It's like once you take those people out of your life, suddenly the opportunities start to pour in a different way, and I hate to think that, because people I like to think about are good and positive, and maybe I was a bad side effect in their life. You know what I mean? It's like, but when you take those people out of your life, hopefully I wish them all the best, and I hope that their life is amazing. But certainly, when your life gets better in that, you start to understand that sometimes the side effect is you. You know what I mean? And then, of course, wishful thinking. I mean, there's so many times in life that you get with those people and you talk all these big things, and you don't you don't accomplish any of it. You're just like, okay, whatever. Tons of stories we all have with people.
Right.
The positiveness. I love the overkill too. Sorry, I'm still blabbering about
No,
it.
you're good. You're good.
I love overkill. How it just seems like when you're in depression, and depression has kind of consumed you. It's the overkill, right? Every day's the same. You just okay today. It's almost like you're waiting for this cure to happen, and it doesn't, and then every day is dark. So it's just it's about, and there's a lyric in that song that says misery blends in like shadows, which I think is an interesting image that I had in my head when writing that song, about how I could be the happiest person on earth. You could be the most depressed. And we're standing together, which say we're walking on the street, and I see your shadow and you see my shadow, or people see both of our shadows. There is no way to tell what someone's going through, because our shadows look the same and we blend in like shadows. So the depression sometimes can be very, very almost deceiving, right?
Yeah.
Like it just can be really dark. I mean, you walk by people on the street and we all look fine, we all look good, we all look normal, but there's the darkness hides in between the shadows, right? So it's just super creepy, super song that I was just thought was really really interesting, and it's Stranger Things type tone, how we put that thing together. So just super cool, man. Super proud of this album, and I'm super excited. Hopefully it becomes a fan favorite for albums for us in the future, and certainly it set the stage for us to really explore the direction on where we can take this band in the future. So excited about this new era, this next chapter for Pop Evil, for sure.
Which is, crazy, because I mean, with the level of success you've had and continue to have, it's exciting, and especially for you guys, see what is next, because you say the sky's the limit. Well, you guys hit the sky, and I mean, so it's going to be fun to see that this next incarnation of Pop Evil. And going back to the album, you can tell you're very close to it, lyrically, musically, sonically, emotionally. It'll be great for people to now find it again March 21st when it comes out, and find their favorite, multiple favorites on there, and what song speaks to them. It's very good for all of us in the rock world that we get to have this new Pop Evil in our lives. Well, we got just a little bit of time left. I want to ask this final question, then we'll do rapid fire. And I always like to say this is kind of my James Lipton masterpiece theater question, if you will. We'll get real deep and introspective. Looking at the history of Pop Evil, you go back to, Lipstick, Onyx, Skeletons, which it did so well, and everything in between. Where does this record, What Remains, fall in your mind in the Pop Evil catalog? Sonically, emotionally, lyrically, where does it fall?
Well, time will tell the true answer of that, but certainly right now, teed up, it feels like the best version of ourselves. It feels like that best evolution. So it's up there for me. Obviously, the success of the songs play a role in that. I mean, I'd be lying to you to tell you that they didn't, and obviously you want to make music for other people that people like and people can really rap and be inspired by, right, in a positive way. So, and then you got to play these songs in the live show. But certainly before that happening, I don't think I've been more excited about the start of an album since, so I'm definitely excited about this. And certainly that next chapter for Pop Evil kind of plays a role in that as well. So really looking forward to see how this album really translates to the stage and translates to our fans. And I'm looking forward to proving it every night here, starting this spring and getting out there and hopefully getting to see you in person and getting an opportunity for you to hear these songs live as well.
I love it. Well, we can't wait. And again, just so proud of you guys. So excited for this new album, What Remains, again, March 21st from Pop Evil. And then, of course, you guys, one of the hardest working bands, you're going to be back out and about supporting it, which is good news again for all of us out there. All right. Well, now that we got the important stuff out of the way, let's do rapid fire. There's no wrong answers to this. You know the drill. We've done this many times. I think I got some new surprises in there for you. So let's start.
All right.
Let's start simple. Sneakers or sandals?
Sneakers all day.
Yeah, you kind of are a sneakerhead, aren't you? You're into that, yeah. Billy Ocean or Billy Idol?
I go Billy Idol.
Very nice. New England clam chowder or a creamy tomato bisque?
Oh my gosh, clam chowder all day, my favorite.
Yeah, The red or the white?
I like the white. I like
the white. There you go. All right. Would you rather get a Chuck Norris roundhouse kick at 100% or a Mike Tyson punch at 50% power?
Oh man, I like both those. I've met Mike Tyson, so I haven't met Chuck Norris yet. So I'd go Chuck Norris, man. I'd love to get kicked by him too. That'd be great. That's a cool story.
Excuse me, Mr. Norris. I've never met before. Can you kick me in the face?
Roundhouse kick me, man.
Is Mike as formidable, terrifying in person as he seems on TV?
He's a sweetheart, man.
Sweetheart. Oh, nice.
He's a sweetheart. He's
that's good
awesome
to know.
Guy.
I still don't want to get punched by him, but hey, we'll leave that. I love it. Well, look, I appreciate you humoring me. More importantly, I appreciate you taking the time. I could spend all day talking to you, Leigh. You're such a great guy, and it's been an honor knowing you for all these years. And just congrats on it, man. And looking forward to chatting with you soon, buddy.
Well, dude, love you to death. Thank you always for just being a friend and always supporting us. And can't wait to make more memories with this album with you in the future, brother. So thank you again for everything. And
always
hope the family and your personal life is going as great too as are. And I can't imagine who doesn't love you because you're one of the kindest people in this business. So I got to give you some love as well. So thank you, brother.
I love you, buddy. All right, thanks everyone. Pop Evil, What Remains, out March 21st. Leigh, thanks, man. That was awesome, buddy. That was killer, dude. So.
Listen, rate, share, subscribe. Discover new music now at WJJO.com, in the JJO app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Brock has a new interview every Thursday evening between 6 and 7. 94.1 JJO.